Hello, today we'll be playing NeveN. We'll be covering Chapter 2 with Tenoch's perspective. If you want the full plot for Chapter 2, including the council meeting that Eric attends and the decision of what to do with him, you can play the Arcade video for Chapter 2. Instead, for Tenoch, we're not going to play the council meeting. We're not going to cover Eric in the council meeting, nor are we going to cover Eric's encounters with both Tenoch and NeveN right before the council meeting. Instead, we're going to play the parts where Eric wakes up right before the council meeting, and then we're going to skip to the part where Eric leaves the council meeting and he decides to go find Tenoch so he can hang out with him, and they discuss the council meeting and its consequences. This is the same format I did with NeveN, and when because a date comes out, I will be doing the same format with Vakad. So we're going to see what happens with Tenoch. The wind increases intensity, blowing snow in my face. I stand frozen in the cold. I feel the frost biting the tips of my ears as I tremble. Yet the solution to my problem is there, right in front of me. A small wooden house in which I can see through the windows the light of a fireplace. There is another problem, though. I know this house. I know it very well. It's mine. It's my home in Scorna. I don't want to go in there. In spite of myself, my body moves forward and open the door and enter a place I haven't set foot in for over 7 years. Nothing has changed. Everything is exactly as it was when I left. It's as if no one is even trying to come in here. It's just frozen in time. Except for the person waiting by the fire. Tenoch, what are you doing here? Ah, Eric. I was waiting for you. You? Waiting for me? Obviously, I wanted to peek into your past to make sure there are no nasty surprises, you understand? So in my status, can't afford to be in bad company after all. What are you talking about? How did you get here? What's going on? After that, I'm disappointed. I mean, I knew you didn't belong to the nobility, but to think that you came from such a shithole. Hey, don't you dare to. Not to mention that I met someone who explained everything about you. Someone? Who are you talking about? Here I thought you were a good person. Even I could be wrong. But now that I know what you did, do me a favor and get out of my sight, will you? I can't afford to waste my time with the likes of you being associated with a criminal. Ugh. To say you were cute. Tenoch, wait, I can't explain. The lizard doesn't listen to me anymore and slowly walks away. I hold out my hand to stop him and only then notice something strange. Around my annular finger is a silver ring. No. Beginning for a moment, Tenoch's presence, I grab the ring, pulling it on it as hard as I can, but no matter what I do, it refuses to move. It's impossible. It doesn't belong there. It shouldn't be. My love. I freeze as I hear the voice behind me. Not that, please. Not him. Vigo? Eric, it's been so long. I'm not turning around. I don't want to. I can't see him. I can feel him pressing against my back, hugging me tenderly as he rests his muzzle on my head, just like he used to do back then. I miss you. Vigo, Shh. Let me talk, will you? You told me more than enough last time, don't you think? I knew you would come back to me one day. After all, you know I'm the only one who truly loves you despite everything you've done. I know your secrets are lies. I know as well as you do that what happened to your grandfather is entirely... Stop it, please. You want to punish me for all this? Do it, but stop. Punish you? Oh no, Eric, you don't understand. I'm not saying this to hurt you. I just want you to know that I'm here. I'm waiting for you, and I'm the only one doing it. You know they don't love you like I do. Once they know, and they will eventually know, they will abandon you, just like you abandoned me. I heard disembodied voices circling around me. They seem to be brimming with hatred and disgust. It doesn't take me long to recognize them. I can't. Vakan, maybe on Tenoch. I thought you were a good person. At least slave traders are honest about what they do. You are neither prey nor predator. Just a scavenger attacking the weak. So this is who the gods chose. Maybe my fathers were wrong. After all, locking you up is the best solution. It seems I fell for your pretty face. To think you're rotten inside. Well, at least I have some fun. They go on and on, expressing more hate and disgust with each other. With each word. Vigor holds me close, almost blocking my breath, but I feel the tears running down my cheeks. Stop. Please stop this. Make it stop. I gasp on my eyes and sit up in my bed. The seat sticks to my sweaty fur, and I pant as if I just sprinted. Oh, fuck. It's been a long time since I had a nightmare like this one, and it's been even longer since I had a nightmare that includes Viggo. It must be the stress, the pressure of my brain's awakening, the competition today, the council. None of them would really think that, even if they learned. No, they have no way to know anything. Nobody knows but me, except Viggo. I collapsed back into my bed with a hand over my muzzle. Fuck. Of all nights, this had to happen now, right before the council where they are going to discuss my fate, and I absolutely had to pay attention to what's going on. I'm starting to think the gods really do hate me. Oh, let's get together. It was just a dream. It's your head playing tricks on you. Eric, so you'll know it. It's not worth dwelling on. You lock it in a corner of your mind and don't think about it, that's all. My fingers running for a moment over where my wing used to be. Try as I might, I can't help but wonder. How is Viggo doing? I couldn't really get back to sleep after that. At most I dozed off here and there. I have to keep myself awake for the day. I can't afford to look exhausted, distracted, not today. Luckily for me, we're traveling resistance have a whole host of tricks and tips for this kind of situation at our disposal, ancient knowledge passed down from board to board. Wearing the nearest bucket of water, I dip my head in, shivering as I feel the icy liquid on my skin. The shock wakes me up for good, not very pleasant but effective. In any case, I should start by visiting my favorite prince. And I should also be prepared to be yelled at for opening my big mouth when he asked me. These are opposite, but hey, he told a boy to shut up. He should have known that was impossible. I finally leave the council chamber as I head for the royal quarters. As I pass by Maybjorn's room, I hear sudden shouts. Since there is no guard at the entrance, and since I am unable to find my own curiosity, I approach and put an ear against the door. Told you one of them to survive, and then think the animals will go fucking berserk. I've never seen that. You know very well how much I know my job's not normal. Because I never heard him raise his voice like that. You know, that's so against the prince. But Maybjorn also sounds upset. No, I'm not. McCann will think we're behind their death. They will take any pretext to put obstacles our way. Fuck. Or are we responsible for their death? I mean, are they talking about the McCann envoys? What would they have to do with a wild animal attack? I would have arrived in time if. Not another word of a kind. I never wanted this. I just wanted them to fear for their lives. I wanted you to be their savior, that's all. Too late for that. Now what? I don't know yet, but someone has to take the blame sooner or later. And I'm the obvious culprit, ain't I? I'll do my best not to let it land on you. I know what you think, Vikar. It is my fault, and I'm fully aware of it, but still you must understand I cannot be the culprit in this case. Yeah. There are a few things I'm certain of, but I felt that I better not tell anyone about what I just heard is one of them. So I needed that kind of trouble on top of everything else. My big ears be cursed, my curiosity too. I need to take a breather. Seeing a cat is probably my best option right now. I don't doubt for a second that he will take my mind off things. Not to mention that I haven't had a chance to see him since I've been away, so he must be worried sick about me. Expecting to find a bird in turmoil, I can't help but be surprised when I approach our rooms and hear him laughing through his wide open door. What's going on there? Yeah, hey Jaya. Hi there, Alua fi Awakia. As another burst of laughter echoes between the two of them, a couple of questions come to mind. The first being, what are they talking about and what is this gibberish? The second is, what in Telson is Tenoch doing here? There's only one way to get an answer to both questions, plus they left the door open. Sure, that means they don't have a problem with me coming in, right? So I walk in to find a cat sitting on his bed, not turning his back to me to face him. However, once the bird sees me, he gets up to throw himself on me and wrap his arms around my neck. Eric, you're fine. Well, easy there, little guy. You act like you haven't seen me in weeks. It's been almost 3 days. You're awake, and you didn't even come to see me. I was worried about you. I know, I'm sorry. It's just that with everything that's happened, my brain and all. I'm just glad that you're alright. But don't do that to me again, please. I promise I won't. The next time I spend several days healing from some sort of magic blast, I promise you'll be the first to know. I can hear a cat laughing briefly as he walks away from me. At least he doesn't seem to be mad at me, that's something. But he's not entirely wrong. He's my partner after all. I shouldn't abandon him like that. My gaze sails quickly towards Tenoch. His gaze intrigues me. His presence intrigues me. I must admit, though, that I didn't expect to find you here. I figured if you weren't going to take care of that poor bird, someone had to. Besides, it was a good opportunity to practice my Mechanian though. Oh, so that's the gibberish I heard when I arrived. Hey, that's my language you're talking about. Sorry about that. It's been a while since I've had a chance to speak it with anyone. Not many people seem to use it here. I don't really have the heart to tell him that's probably because most of the people who speak it here are probably runaway slaves. I doubt they enjoy hearing the language of their foreign masters. Which makes me think I still need to ask him about his sighted status. I really have a hard time seeing him as a slave trader. But I doubt doing that with Tenoch in the room is a good idea. Like I said, we can do this again anytime you want. It's good to see I'm not too rusty, and your Kazalian is more than decent. I'm impressed. You speak Kazalian? Oh, I had to learn it. Yes, that's the case with most of the families in Macat. Really, it's to keep the slaves from talking to each other without us understanding them. So if I find myself the only fool capable of speaking only his own language in this room, I knew that hanging out with the nobility would eventually make me feel rebellious. Made me feel ridiculous. However, Eric, I must also confess that I was hoping to run into you. Oh, really? You're curious as to what happened during the council, I suppose. Given that you came here on your own and are not covered in chains, I assume that everything went well. Could you really have ended up in chains? The possibility was vaguely mentioned, but it was quickly dismissed by the kings. Don't worry about that. I'm absolutely free to move. I can do whatever I want, well, as long as I stay within the city walls. I don't think talking about what happened next is a good idea, even less so what I heard from Maybell's room. Glad to hear it. That means I can go ahead with my plans. Your plans? So you finally decided to reveal that you've actually been planning to take over Phosphate all along, and you hiding an army of lizards in our sewers? Sometimes even I wonder where the nonsense that comes out of your lips come from. It's a gift. Not all gifts are necessarily good to use. Anyway, I want to invite you somewhere tomorrow. Oh, Mr. Ambassador, are you trying to seduce me again? Am I being invited to a romantic evening? Eric, I had you in my bed. I think we're past the cute little dates. Right. What? I forgot a cat was still here. I turned to him with a small smile, only to meet the bird's reproachful gaze. I see. You have indeed been very busy these past few days. Too busy to come and say hi, I guess. The cat looked. It's just that. And I think it's a perfect time for me to go, Eric. I'll see you tomorrow morning at the castle entrance. The cat, it was a pleasure. I want some bewilderment as Tenoch leaves the room. Really? Really? That's the second time he's done that to me now. The cat pierces me with his gaze and let out a sigh. This isn't something that was planned. I swear Tenoch was appointed to teach me how to use my brain and one thing then to another. So you always end up in your teacher's beds? Well, not always. But I tell you, Eric. What? It's not my fault that people fancy me. You could learn some self-control. I have self-control. I waited until after the competition to sleep with anyone. Is that what you call, you know what? Never mind. It's not my concern. I'm glad to see you're okay. He lets out a long sigh and sits down on his bed, absent-mindedly plucking the strings of his lute. Fuck, looks like I screwed up big time. I'm sorry, it's just my way of dealing with stress, and no, it's no excuse. I said I'll come earlier. I'm not the best at asking for forgiveness, but I swear I didn't want to keep you in the dark. I tend to follow my instincts, that's all. I don't really think before I act. That's what happened with Tenoch, but I didn't mean to hurt you. I promise. I just thought we were friends, that's all. I can understand some things. I know that your recovery must have taken a while, but you choose to sleep with someone rather than check in with me? I know, and I'm really sorry. You're right. We're friends, and I should not have done that. The only thing I can do now is to promise you it won't happen again. I guess that's all I can ask of you. I guarantee I'll make it up to you. Besides, look at the bright side. We're going to be spending a lot of time together now. Really? Well, we have a soda pull on, don't we? Remember his birthday. I'm sure we'll find some time to relax in the meantime. I offer my biggest smile, which he shyly returns. His trust won't be coming back anytime soon, but I guess I deserve his distrust. I've really been a steady friend. I'd like to be alone for a moment, if you don't mind. Yeah, no problem. It's probably best if I get some rest too. Anyway, after the council and all that, you know. Probably, yes. He starts playing with his lute again. The message got through. He doesn't need me right now. It could have gone much better, and this time I don't have much else to blame but myself, which means it's going to be up to me to fix the situation. I just have to be a bit more serious for a while, at least with him. It shouldn't be too difficult. But right now I can feel the call of my bed. I need to rest, if only for a few minutes. As I throw myself onto my mattress, my thoughts turn to Tenoch. I wonder what he might want to sell me tomorrow. I hope he's not planning to take me halfway across the city just to sell me a pretty view. Perhaps it will have something to do with my plan. I straightened up abruptly. My plan. The awakening gesture. I didn't look at all for what it might be. I have to try a little. I absolutely have to find out what it could be in the next couple of days. I take a deep breath and close my eyes. Come on, Eric. It can't be that hard. You're bound to find it. Well, not really. I spent a good part of the evening trying every possible move in every position and nothing happened. At least I didn't have any weird dreams this time. Well, none that I can remember. Nothing but a good night's sleep to recover from the day's events. I even rested enough to get up early and wait quietly at the door for Tenoch to arrive. Except that the lizard doesn't seem to show his face, I'm getting really impatient. Seriously, don't they teach him to be on time with his owl? Plus, he's the one who asked me to come along. I'm starting to consider the possibility that I should go back to my quarters when a voice rings out behind me. Lord Eric? I turn to face a snow leopard dressed in a guard outfit, which he has quite clearly customized. It seems lighter than the others I've seen. Hello? I don't think we've had the honor of meeting yet. My name is Rowan. I work under Captain Gillian. I have been tasked with assuring your safety during an excursion. Oh, so you're going to escort Tenoch and me? His smile turns to a brief grimace before returning. Well, that was a original idea, but Lord Tenoch was extremely clear that he did not wish to be accompanied. Or, in his own words, I don't want anyone to get in the way while I'm having a good time, so if I see you, you'll burn. So I'm going to take a slightly more discreet approach to my work. I just wanted to introduce myself in advance so you wouldn't be worried if I suddenly had to step in. Or, thanks, that's nice. I also wanted to give you this. He holds his paw out. I see what looks like a seed placed on it. A light appears near the leopard's thigh, and the seed opens before my eyes, quickly transforming into a large flower with wet petals. Oh, I appreciate the thought, Rowan, but we've only just met, and this all seems very unprofessional to me. You're cute, Bunny, but I'm afraid my interests lie elsewhere, and my wife would probably kill me if I tried anything like that. Let's take it with you, and if anyone bothers you before I can intervene, put this against their nose. That should calm them down for a while. Sorry, it's just that, usually when I get flowers. Yeah, I understand. I'll be honest, I just wanted to see the look on your face. I let the flower and stuff in my pocket without answering. What a strange guy. He very quickly changed from formal behavior to something much more friendly, and now as if we've always known each other. I'm the first to appreciate sociable people, but still that's fast. Rowan, I thought I was abundantly clear about your presence. Well, look who's finally showing his tail. The leopard reacts by grabbing my shoulder and turning to the lizard, all smiles. Hey, what the? Well, Tenoch, I was just greeting my friend Eric, nothing more. He pats my shoulder, then releases me to bow briefly. I hope you have a fantastic day, gentlemen. I'll leave you to it. We'll probably see each other soon anyway. Rowan then leads towards the courtyard with a bouncy step, and I can't help but tilt my head to the side, totally taken aback by what has just happened. Do you know him? Not really. Is he always like this? Rowan is. Let's just say he's a special case. Only gods know what goes through his head half the time. But make no mistake, he knows exactly what he's doing. It's weird that he acts without reason. Alright. He seems friendly. I guess that's always a plus. Oh, you won't find a more loyal ally as long as you remain a friend of the realm, that is. But we're not here to talk about a guard. He smiles and slips his arm under mine. Then he pulls me towards the city streets. We have things to do, places to see, and appointments to attend. It's time for you to discover the beautiful things of Frostfang. Are you going to show me a day in the life of a nobleman? Well, you're part of the building now, in a way. You might as well get used to the luxuries that come with it. I didn't think of that. Something tells me that a phrase you say often. Hilarious, Tenoch. Thanks, I think so too. He gives me a big smile as I roll my eyes. I know, however, that he doesn't let go of my arm. And I have absolutely no intention of moving mine either. Tonight leads me through the streets of the city, and to my dismay, we pass by what appears to be a small market. The smells of good carried by tinsel brands reach my nostrils, and I let out a slight groan as we walk away. I haven't been able to eat yet, and I'm getting really hungry. Aren't you overdoing it a bit? It smells really good. You can visit the local markets later. I have something much better in mind to fill your stomach. Oh, and what's that? Come on. You wouldn't want me to spoil the surprise now, would you? I guess not, but if I'm not satisfied, I'll drag you back here and make you buy half the market. That's fine with me. I'm absolutely certain you'll be dazzled anyway. I'll hold you to that, Mr. Lizard. You should know that I can be extremely stubborn when I want to, even more so when I'm hungry. After a few more minutes walking through the streets, I begin to notice that they are less and less populated and that the people you pass are, shall I say, fancily dressed. The pavement is cleaner. The pavement is cleaner. It almost shines. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a few anthrokins using their brand of fury to clean the stones. The shops are also different. The storefronts are more elaborately decorated. There's a real effort made on the presentation of products, and I see guards posted outside some of the entrances. Something tells me that we're in an area where the little people are not welcome. Not exactly the kind of place I'm used to visit. I never really had the appropriate purse for this sort of environment. Well, when you said you were going to show me the benefits of my new situation, I guess you weren't kidding. I'm not sure what you're talking about. This isn't exactly the kind of neighborhood I'm usually welcome in, unless I'm accompanied by someone like you. Really? I don't think it's that different from the others, apart of course, from the price of the products you find here and the way it's managed. Tenoch, my dear, you are a noble, you're rich, and to be honest, you don't do much to hide it. It's only natural that everyone will welcome you with enthusiasm. But that's not a bad thing. That's not what I mean. It's just, I realize that we come from two very different worlds, that's all. Well, that only makes our relationship more interesting, don't you think? I can show you my world, you can show me yours. I'm not sure you will find life on the roads particularly interesting. You never know. There are good things to be found in all places. I guess that's one way to look at it, which is not to say that I entirely agree. I don't have time to share my thoughts with him, however, since he starts forcing me to do the same. We find ourselves in front of an establishment with a particularly unique decoration, even within this much more colorful street compared to others. Plants such as I have never seen before decorate the front door. Two trees with long, slender trunks, topped with a series of large toothed leaves, surround the door. The walls themselves are decorated with an extremely colorful mosaic depicting two dragons, one red and one blue, circling each other in an azure sky. Next to them is represented the shining sun. Here we are. Tenoch, what exactly is this place? It's an Zoma. It's a bit like a tavern, if you will, but better. It's something that's quite typical of Kazal. It's common for no one to eat there. They only serve food from the homeland, by the way. I didn't even know that was possible. Is it too cold for them here? Not all Kazalians are lizards, dear, but come in. I can't wait to give you a taste of my world. He almost pushes me in. Not that I'm really resisting. It's funny to see him so excited about something. However, once inside, I immediately want to go back outside. A rush of heat suddenly hits me. I instantly feel uncomfortable. I turn to the knock. He gives me an embarrassed look. So I should have warned you. No, you think? Can I know why they're trying to cut the customer instead of the food? They're trying to provide an authentic experience. It's more or less the temperatures in Kazal. You're joking, right? How come your country hasn't melted like snow under the sun already? You're exaggerating. It's not that hot. You're not used to these temperatures, that's all. This is I'm about to answer. We are approached by someone dressed in an outfit that looks like nothing I know. It almost looks like a robe, even though it is worn by a male. I am, however, completely unable to say what species of androkin he is. He has a long, thin, fur-covered muzzle and two small round ears that remind me of Maybelline's, but a long bushy winged tail swings behind him, confirming to me that he is probably not a bear. I think I've never seen anyone like him. Lord Tenoch, as always, it is a great pleasure to see you. May I ask who is doing us the favor, who's doing us the honor of joining you? The pleasure is shared in the collie. And let me introduce you to Lord Eric, Royal Bard of Frostfang and bearer of the brand of NeveN. Hi. Now it's like a custom to hear my name followed by titles. Something else I'll have to get used to, I suppose. And I'm honored to make your acquaintance, Lord Eric. Please allow me to remove your vest. I know the warmth of our establishment is not necessarily to the liking of those who come for the first time. He approaches me and helps me take off my vest. This I think is really, really weird. I don't ever remember being helped to undress like that, at least not in public, and not to merely eat afterwards. As the what anyway? The tavern keeper, as he disappears to stow my vest somewhere, I lean over to whisper to Tenoch. He could have told me we were coming to this kind of place. I would have dressed differently. Eric, I'm in a loincloth. Do you really think your outfit will be a problem? Yeah, I guess not. Nicole returns a few moments later and guides us to our table. I take the opportunity to observe the interior, curious to see what a gazillion establishment looked like. What stands out the most is the abundant use of color, whether it's the walls themselves, the tablecloths, or on the tables or the floor. Everything is as brightly colored as possible, almost too much for my taste. On top of that, it seems that the plants are not only present outside. Every table is either under a tree or surrounded by flower beds. That's peculiar, I must admit, and totally different from anything else I know. We eventually arrive at what I assume is our table, which is secluded in an alcove, one of the trees decorating the entrance curves over it. We sit down and the collie offers us a piece of parchment. Oh, reading. Now that might be a problem, especially since I have no idea what this thing might be. I'm going to have a hard time pretending. Surely my expression must give away my perplexity. It's called a menu, sir. I know that's not something you commonly use here. It's a list of what we prepare, so you can choose. Since most of our dishes are not now, it's easier for us to operate this way. Not to mention that it's widely used in Kazal, so it gives you the most authentic experience. Oh, thanks. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. I'll be back in a few moments to take your order. With that, he leaves. Great. Well. I know this scroll is called. I know what the scroll is called. I still can't read, though. No way Tenoch finds out. Think of it. Find a way out of this. So, do you need something to your liking? You seem to be deeply immersed in the menu. Raise my muzzle and offer the list of my best smile. Time to prove you can bluff, buddy. There's just so much on the menu and everything looks appetizing. I'm having trouble choosing. I can recommend something if you want. You know what? Yeah, choose for me. You're the expert. I'm sure you'll find something like. Found the parchment back on the table. I put the parchment back on the table and continued to smile at Tenoch. Perfect, Eric. You managed to get out of there without making a fool of yourself. Oh, that's quite a responsibility. I'm not sure I can live up to your expectations. But if I don't like it, I'll still have your promise to buy me at the market. Don't think I've forgotten. Remember you seem strangely efficient as soon as it's for something that suits you. Knowing how to sort out information and remembering the essentials as part of the skills needed to be a bard. He lets out a chuckle as I lean over the table, resting my chin in my paws as I enjoy the moment. The color eventually returns, and tonight it sends a series of phrases of him that I assume are in Kazarian. I'm not even going to try to pay attention. Half the sounds I hear seem impossible to reproduce. I take in the atmosphere and enjoy the scenery as they are talking. There are so many things that are unknown to me. Colors and plants that I have never seen. It's unique and strange. Is everything okay? You're usually more talkative. Let's say, usually for me, luxury is eating at a tavern that gives me a spoon and a fork to eat with. So, all this someone taking my vest off, a menu to choose what to eat is just totally new to me. And more time goes by, the more I realize that maybe Astrid was right after all. This whole thing is not me. I'm not unknowable. I never was. I never will be. And who asked you to change? It's part of my job, isn't it? I mean, I have a position in the royal court. So what? Have you seen me? Have you seen Aeon? Do you really think we act like typical nobles? I guess not. See? There's no reason to worry. Yeah, you know how I feel about the results of the contest. Eric, yeah, I know. We talked about it before. I know I would have probably won, brand or not, but that doesn't stop my mind from doubting from time to time. In the midst that I had a really weird dream that kept me in that same state of mind, that's all. And dream does that to you. A dream does that to you. It must have been quite an adventure. You were in it, just in case. That was probably a damn good adventure then. He gives me a big grin. I can't help but laugh briefly. Not really, unfortunately. Just to say that we ended up at my old house in Skarna, and to put it simply, you weren't particularly impressed with what you saw, or about what you learned about who I was at the time. Is that it? Not really, but I have no desire to share the rest of that dream. In that case, if it makes you feel any better, I don't judge and will never judge anyone on where they come from. I know perfectly well that great things can come from the humblest of places. Where we come from, where we were born, is all part of who we are, but it doesn't define us. We are more than our origins. What matters to me is what you are and what you are doing now. Right now, in front of me, there is an extraordinary singer, the royal bard Phosphate, who is about to eat the best food of his life. As if he has been waiting for this moment, Nikolai seems to appear beside our table. He carries 2 bowls, which he sets before us. Then he wishes us a good meal as he disappears once again. As I look down, I quickly realize one thing. I haven't the faintest idea what is in that bowl. It's some kind of green mass, but it doesn't look like anything I know. There's also what looks like potatoes, but purple. On top of that, I see something that looks like meat, but upon close inspection, it's carrot. There's color and could in order to change its natural appearance. I give a most dubious look to Tenoch for his part. Has already started eating. Are you sure I should swallow this? By organ error, try it. If I die, I swear I'll hold you responsible for spending the rest of your life haunting you. Being constantly followed by a cute bonding spirit is not the punishment you think it is. Well, my eyes have started eating. Oh, that's good. That's really tasty. I've never had anything like it. I have to admit, it's pretty good. Good? Yeah, right. Wait, alright, yeah. It's delicious. Happy? More than happy. I pause to enjoy the food, but also to search for my words. Thank you for the meal and for the discussion. At present, what kind of teacher would I be if I didn't take care of my students? Oh, so you bring all the students here? I thought I was special. Well, you are special, darling. After all, you are the only student I have. You both laughed before we continue our meal. The mood is lighter, but it seems that my brains are determined not to leave me in peace today. He keeps sending me back to my drink, especially the part I couldn't talk about with Tenoch, Virgo. It's been 7 years. I wonder what happened to him. I wonder if he's doing well, if he's managed to forget me and is now happy with someone else. Maybe I'll talk about it, even just a little. Hey, Tenoch? Have you ever been in love? Oh, please tell me this isn't the part where you tell me that After sleeping with me, you suddenly realize that I'm your soulmate and you can't live without me. You take me for a Wookiee? It's something that happens from time to time, and it's always difficult. Don't mention it. I always make things clear beforehand. It's like they never listen. But no, that's not why I'm asking you. I'm just curious. That's all. Previous discussion about where we came from made me think of it. In that case, the answer is yes. I have been in love once. Really? Is that so surprising? Just because I like to have fun doesn't mean I can't focus on someone. That's not what I meant. I find it hard to imagine you in a couple. That's all. But come to think of it, I suppose most people feel the same way about me. And yet it happened. Yanka is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Blue scales, green eyes, and she always had that sweet personality. We were only together a few weeks, but I was crazy about her. What happened? She asked for something I couldn't offer. Exclusivity. What? Why? Can you keep it in your loincloth? That's not what I meant. If we were here in Frostfang, I would have set her on the spot, and we would probably be married by now. Ben Kazar, Noah must have several concubines, and if word ever gets out that we don't satisfy some of them, our reputation can quickly be ruined. Why did she ask that then? Because he wasn't noble and didn't care if I was. She wanted me and only me, but I couldn't give up my position. I couldn't lose my title. It would mean giving up what I want. I would have lost my chance to be a part of history, to be known forever in African memory, and that is the price I refuse to pay. Sorry, it doesn't look like an easy choice. And it's been years now. I've had time to get over it. Besides, dwelling on the past is not my thing. I thought I noticed, yes. The future seems to be all you care about, because it's the only thing that matters. I understand your point of view. After all, that's what my job is. After all, that's what my job is all about. Making an impression and leaving a mark on people's minds. And I don't doubt for a second that you will succeed. You've already achieved quite a bit, in fact. If you don't mind, I'll ask you the same thing. Is there a form of love in your life? This time I'm prepared to answer that question. I'm the one who started this conversation. After all, who knows? Talking about it might help me, but at least it shouldn't hurt. Just one for me too, Virgo. We've known each other since we were kids, and to be honest, I don't even know how long exactly we've been together. All I know is that one day I found myself with my ass in the snow and his lips pressed against mine. I feel like there's a story to be told. Another time, baby. It's a bit long. So what ended your relationship? We had a fight, and I said some things, and I shouldn't have said that ended it all, and shortly after I left. It's a lot more complex than that, but for now it'll do. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, like you said, it's been years. I was able to move on eventually. Plus, well, it brought me here. So all in all, it wasn't that bad. Excellent way of looking at it. There's nothing wrong with focusing on the positive, especially when the positive is eating in a, what do you call it again? In a zoma. Eating in a zoma with a handsome foreign dignitary. I smile to Tenoch, who returns it. Then I feel something gently wrapping around my ankle, and I immediately recognize the texture of Liz's tail. Right here and now, in such a refined establishment, Miss Ambassador, you should be ashamed. Now it's only just a fashion. I don't always try to get you in my bed. Now I feel slighted. Stop your nonsense and eat. And after a brief laugh, we both continue our dish. The rest of the meal is a real delight, interspersed with discussions amongst writers such as I tell them stories of what I have experienced on the roads. We discuss of the feats as well as the disasters of some of our previous affairs. Cannot tell is to let go of my anger. I do nothing to chase it away. It feels nice. I'm surely not going to complain about this sort of affection. When we have finished, Nicole collects our bowls and cutlery. Then he brings us new drinks. I really don't understand the point of this. Exoma. Do people come here just to eat? There's no room for a bar or a dance floor, and I don't see anyone playing at the tables. There doesn't even seem to be any bathrooms. There doesn't even seem to be any bedrooms. And no bar either. No place to sit and have a drink. It's really, really strange. I still think this place is a little strange, but I'll admit, it was probably the best meal I've ever had. Glad to hear it. I'm also happy to know that I don't need to buy half of the city's market. I don't know about that. I've still got some room in my stomach, you know. Are you that keen to ruin me? You expect me to believe that this would bring your entire fortune? No, not really. Yeah, you see, there's nothing to worry about. Just because I have gold doesn't mean I should throw it away, Eric. Alright, I get it. Anyway, thanks for bringing me here. I really enjoyed it. Oh, but it's not over. We still have a little something to do. He raises his hand and beckons to Nikali, who approaches our table. Would it be possible for us to go down for a few minutes? Of course, my lord. Do you wish to be left alone? If possible. Good. Come down as soon as you like. He bows briefly before leaving, but I give Tenoch an amused look. Going down there in private, Now that's the type of assessment I understand. But you're insulting me. It will take more than a few minutes. What I might have been a great way to end this little adventure is not exactly what I have in mind. Maybe later, who knows? Oh, I'm disappointed now. I'm sure I'll find a way to cheer you up. Follow me. He stands up and walks towards the back of the building, heading for a doorway next to which a line of extinguished torches hang. Tenoch looks at them briefly, then shrugs as he raises his right hand. His back then lights up with an orange glow, and flame appears above his palm. Okay, now I'm really intrigued. I promise you'll love this. Oh, and don't forget to close behind us. He opens the door and proceeds to descend a long staircase. Is entirely immersed in darkness except for the flame he produces. I quickly follow the lizard and close behind me. Then I stick to him as much as possible so I don't end up in the dark. Not that I'm afraid of it, but it's really pitch black down here. Once we get to the bottom, Tenoch stops a few steps from the stairs to turn around and look at me with a big grin. Looking around, I have to admit I have trouble understanding why. Tenoch? Yes? That's a sailor. You know I've seen a sailor before, right? It was a sailor. Now, it's a bit more than that. Look. He closes his fist, and the flame disappears. For a few seconds, we are in complete darkness. But soon a faint glow illuminates the ceiling. As I raise my eyes, I can see dozens and dozens of small dots of light on the stone. Eric, let me offer you the Starlit Sky Kazal. What? Nakali has a brand of Miriani. That's how he manages to grow all those plants you don't normally see here. In this cellar, he used his brand to grow glowing mushrooms and replicate the sky above Catherine, his hometown. It's very pretty, but why? Stars have a special significance in our culture. We spend a lot of time observing and studying them. I mean, why specifically the sky above his hometown? We have the same here. We have the same one. We all have the same stars. You have stars, yes, but not quite the same, or at least not in the same place. The sky changes when you travel really long distances, and Catherine's sky is slightly different. Let me show you an example. See that star there? The one that shines a little brighter than the others? He holds up his finger to point to the dot he's talking about, and I quickly spot it. I feel like I recognize it, but indeed, the other stars around it don't really look like they belong. Is that the Northern Star? That's what you call it here. Yes, but we use another name. He smiles at me and activates his blend, creating thin lines of fire to connect some of the dots together. Soon an easily recognizable shape starts to appear. Is that a dragon? Exactly. And as you can see, the Northern Star is his eye. The eye of the dragon, the most important star in the sky, which is part of the favorite constellation of many Kazarians. You see, when my ancestors defied the gods, they were punished by having their wings ripped off. However, our gods also wanted to celebrate such an act of courage. So when they reached the last dragon, they spared his wings and offered him a place in the sky. He would join the skies so that all may forever remember the bravery of his species. That's a wonderful story. It would make a beautiful song. There are already dozens of songs about it. I could teach them to you if you like. They'll love that. Tenoch is silent for a moment as he observes the white dots above him. It must be fantastic, don't you think? To learn songs with you? Know that we see such an offer. To know that you will never be forgotten, that the world will only have to look up to remember you. Be present for all eternity in the unchanging sky, and to represent something for others until the end of time. I know I will not hesitate for a second to accept such an offer. I'm trying to picture it. Come to think of it, I prefer not to imagine the faces of those who will search the sky for the constellation of the horny lizard. Personally, I would have preferred a slightly more glorious title. Now, you shouldn't lie to people. He chuckles as he puts his gaze back to the ceiling, immersed once again in the observation of those artificial stars. His expression changes eventually, becoming more and more. I think it's melancholy. Tenoch, are you alright? Oh yes, don't worry. There's another moment of silence. I received a letter yesterday morning. It's from my father. Oh, good news at home? Give me 3 months. After that, I'll have to go back to prove I can survive our climate and take my rightful place. That's a good thing, right? You control your brand now. Not as well as I'd like, but yes, I shouldn't have any more problems with it as long as I'm careful. What's the problem then? I'm going to Miss Phosphate. You may be savages, but you know how to live a good life and have fun. Hey, when you're not enjoying exotic wines and aromas, you got to learn to relax in other ways. You don't have to go. I'm sure Aeon Lust will be willing to let you stay. Oh, I don't doubt that for a second, but I can't. I won't. I'm not going to let this opportunity pass. In that case, you might as well enjoy as much as possible before you leave. If you like it here, think of all the things you want to do one last time. 3 months is a long time. I'm sure you can find something to do. And I'll be by your side. There's no reason to have fun on your own. It's always easier with a friend, especially if you're the one who keeps paying. Cannot last briefly. Then he gives me an amused look. That's my intention. Don't worry about it. I tend to make the most of these 3 months. My way actively working on it. I suddenly feel something grab me by the hips. As I look down, I can vaguely see Tenoch's tail wrapped around me in the gloom, as he slowly pulls me against him. You little charmer, you're really making the most of that tail. Wouldn't you if you had the chance? Oh, I wasn't complaining. I'm just extremely jealous. I end up close to the lizard, pressed against his side. Then I tilt my head towards against his shoulder so I can better enjoy the moment. The heat from the scales warms me even more, but I refuse to move for now. We could stay like this for a while. There's nothing that forces us to leave right away. In that case, keep telling me about your stars. I want to know what's going on up there. For a while, that's exactly what we do. We stay snuggled together, eyes towards those little points of light on the ceiling, while Tenoch tells me the stories of the different constellations. Some of them are identical to ours, others are drastically different. Then I take a moment to explain to him what little I know about the stars. Now I found a subject particularly interesting, but right now, in this cellar, that's all I want to talk about. We will eventually get back upstairs. It takes us both a few minutes to get used to the light again. Tenoch takes care of the payment with Nikali. We both head back to the castle. On the way, we both remain silent as we walk next to each other. Normally I would try to fill that silence, but for once, I don't feel the need. I'm just happy to be with Tenoch. However, as we reach the vicinity of the castle entrance, Alyssa speaks again. By the way, I almost forgot, but were you able to make any progress on your awakening gesture? I have to remind you that we'll meet tomorrow for your brand's training. I say I've been trying a few things, but so far nothing I'm doing seems to be working. We'll have to look into that. Normally it should come to you relatively quickly now. It should be a natural thing. Maybe I'm an extremely complex person, therefore what should come naturally to me is hard to find out. There are many things, Bonnie, but complexity is not an adjective I use to describe you. I don't know if that's an insult or not, but I'll take offense preemptively anyway. Oh, really? I guess I'll have to find a way to make it up to you then. If it helps, I've already got an idea for you. I have chains in my room, after all. It would be a shame not to use them. Well, I didn't know that was your style. There's a lot you don't know about me, dear. I wink at him, which makes him laugh. In that case, I look forward to learning more. Unfortunately, once the courtyard paths must part, at least temporarily, Tenoch has some ambassadorial work to do. And I, for one, would like to practice my awakening gesture. Well, let's say I would like to find out what it is in the first place. And there's absolutely no way I'm doing that in the middle of the courtyard where everyone can see me. Once I'm in my room, I take the time to rest on my head. Take time to rest my bed. I really need to take a breather. While the day hasn't been particularly tiring so far, not all the topics discussed have been joyful ones. I haven't talked about my breakup with Vigor in years, not since I told Ragor everything when he found me, and yeah, I managed not to feel too bad. Maybe I should have said something sooner. I slip my hand into my pocket and feel something strange inside. Pulling it out, I find myself with Roland's flower between my fingers. I forgot about it. I didn't need it after all, and that's probably for the best. Not to mention that it looks like it's in considerably worse shape now. I even wonder if whatever it was supposed to do will still work. Someone knocks on my door, so I put the flower on my nightstand to greet my mysterious visitor. Maybe it's a cat. I'd rather give him some time before I see him again. But if he's the one who wants to see me. However, while I open the door, I suddenly find myself facing a gigantic stag who completely towers over me. I expect a lot of different things, but not to see you knock on my door. Yeah, well, I need help with something. The stag doesn't look comfortable. He's tapping the floor with his hoof impatiently. Or could it be nervousness? Come in. I move aside to let him through, then they will lock the door behind him. Is something wrong? No questions. The more you ask, the more you'll be involved in something you don't want to be involved in. Does he understand what a real torture it is for me not to know? Alright then, but the less I know, the less I can help you. You'll do with what I give you. He walks over to the window, looks down the courtyard for a moment. You are traveling before he came here, right? That's right, I was in a wandering band, but don't ask me about anything outside the kingdom, and never left it. That's not what I'm interested in. The hunter pauses for a moment before he turns to face me. I'd like to know if you ever heard of attacks by wild animals, not for food or defense, just sudden attacks for no reason, no apparent reason. I scratch my chin as I settle on the edge of my bed. Well, there was that bear tamer. The cat looked at me quizzically. He was a guy who trained bears to perform in traveling shows. I suppose that was illegal. Yeah, but you always have someone with enough money to afford that kind of eccentricity out there. Plus, in the most remote mountains of the kingdom, there's no one to stop it anyway. Anyway, that's not what you're interested in. He used to starve the bears to make them more dependent on the food he gave them during the show. He thought he had trained them for good, but one day he became the main course. It was the best show he ever put on, if you ask me. I don't think the kids really liked it, though. I can't help but chuckle at my own joke. There's some kind of justice in that story in the end. That's not what I'm looking for. It's obviously attacked because they were hungry and he drove them crazy with his training. Wait, are you asking me this because of the attack on the Macayan diplomats? Again, no questions. It's for both our own good. I sigh in frustration, forever doomed not to know. Those who have anything else for me. Let me think. Oh wait, there's this weird story I heard from a peasant once. While trying to remember the details of what I'm about to tell, I sprawled on my bed. The peasant I mentioned went for a noble or a large estate in the south of the country. They kept huge herds there. They had guard dogs and patrols to protect them, and he explained to me that there had never been an attack, but all of a sudden, some of the livestock were killed by wolves. He told me the wolves had become braver and fiercer. They were no longer afraid of the dogs, and they were coordinated in their actions. It's not unusual for wolves to be coordinated. It's rarer for them to dare to approach a well-defined herd. They must have been hungry. Let me finish. It's more complex than that. So a noble ended up having to hire hunters to solve this problem once and for all. They track the beasts to find their lair, and that's where it gets weird. Apparently they came across a house in the woods, and the trail didn't go any further. So you think they were trained? Oh, I don't think I know. They waited for the guy to come home with his wolves, and they captured him. They eventually discovered that the trainer had been employed by a rival noble to do as much damage as possible to his competitors' herds. Yeah, taming by an Anthrokin is the only likely lead at the moment. Who and why remains to be seen. Thanks, I owe you one. Oh, you're welcome. And don't hesitate to let me know how your investigation is going. You can come and listen to the stories more often. I love telling them. The stag sneers and nods as he heads for the exit. I'll think about you. See you. The stag leaves and closes the doors behind him, and I'm all alone again. Now that was peculiar. I guess they must be struggling. I guess they must be really struggling to find anything if they are so desperate to ask for my help. The thing back to the conversation I overheard yesterday between Vakai and Maybjorn. Perhaps the stag is trying to solve it all by himself to avoid trouble. My eyes fall on the flower beside my bed. It calms someone down for a while, yeah? I guess that's one way to avoid my thoughts. I shake my head. No. I've seen enough people dive into this stuff to know that it rarely ends well. Right now, there's only one thing to do. Try to find your awakening gesture and get ready to start training again. Something tells me that tomorrow will be much less fun. To be continued. Hello everyone. This is where this month's chapter ends. We hope you enjoyed this part of the story. If you want more information about NeveN, feel free to follow us on Twitter. We also have a Discord allowing you to chat among community members. Finally, if you would like to support our project, we also have a Patreon that offers you a series of benefits such as bills 2 weeks in advance. We also unique stories about the characters in NeveN. If you like the VN, please also feel free to rate us on Itch.io. It will help us a lot. Once again, a huge thank you to everyone, and see you in a month for the next chapter on the council. So that was chapter 2 for Tenoch. So, unless Tenoch gets more content next month for chapter 2, I'm pretty sure that next month is supposed to be Vikai's turn for chapter 2. Because each chapter starts with a cat first, then Mayborn, then Tenoch, then Vikai goes last. So, unless they plan to have more content for Tenoch for chapter 2 next month, I'm pretty sure that was a little mistaken, and that next month will be for Vikai for chapter 2. So apparently Tenoch will have to leave in 3 months. So unless something else happens, I don't think Eric and Tenoch will be together in the long term. It's just for 3 months, and then he has to go back to his kingdom and take his place as the leader of the family, of his noble family, I believe. So, kind of sad that he'll have to leave in 3 months, but I don't know. Anything can happen in 3 months. So we got to see some Khazarian cuisine, and we got to feel what it was like to be in Khazal, in the restaurant with all the trees and the flowers and the heat in there. So Khazal is where it's mostly inhabited by lizards and reptiles, so it's gonna be very cold, and the only reason Tenoch is able to survive in the cold of Frostfang is because his brand. So his power to heal his own body. So yeah, he can create with his power. He can create flames, so that's what keeps his body warm. Otherwise, as him being a lizard, he didn't have that power. He would freeze to death. He wouldn't be able to be a diplomat for Frostfang. So certainly we got to learn more about Khazal in the restaurant. We also got to hear the Khazal language between that brief conversation between Tenoch and Aket. Wait a minute. Well, it's not. Actually, it wasn't them speaking Khazarian, but I believe it was Mecanian, actually. So no, that wasn't Khazarian. That was Mecanian in that conversation between Aket and Tenoch, and that Tenoch was learning Mecanian. So, and Aket was really hurt that Aaron didn't go immediately to him after. He understood that he had to rest for a while after what happened during the tournament with his powers causing the whole place to be damaged. So I did understand that he had to rest, but he was very hurt that Aaron did not come to see him right away once he got up. That he spent time with Tenoch instead, and And he's been sleeping with Tenoch. I didn't show the scene between them, but they were clearly sleeping with each other while they were training. While Tenoch was training Eric for his powers. But Eric still going right to Cat because Cat was very worried about him. I understand that Tenoch is his teacher now. He has to train him. But he could have just gone to Cat first to let him know he's okay. And Cat was very hurt because Cat was very hurt to the point that he just didn't want Eric around him for a while. He just wanted to be alone, playing his lute. And towards the end of the update, with Eric back in his room, he was hoping that a cat would be knocking on his door to see him again, but apparently a cat is still mad or sad. Well, I think it's sad, really, but he's apparently still sad over Eric not seeing him immediately, because instead of him coming inside of his bedroom, it was Vakad. So apparently Vakad is very desperate to figure out what happened with the Macan envoys, what made the animals kill all the Macan envoys, to the point that he even went to Eric for advice. I thought Eric would be kind of the last person in the palace that he would ask advice for, but the fact that he did, Vakad must be very desperate. And apparently Vakad remembered that Eric used to do some traveling before coming to Frost Fane, so he asked Eric about that, and Eric told some stories about the way people treat the animals, and that apparently this noble in Eric's part of the country, in the mountains, this noble uses wolves to. This noble trains wolves to go to a rival noble's farm and kill all his herd. So apparently in his region, nobles will do things to other nobles so they can get an edge over their rival noble. If a noble seems to be doing very well, that rival noble will try to sabotage the other noble by having their wolves eat all their cattle, so that noble with the cattle will be at a disadvantage. So apparently Vakad got an idea from that, and Vakad apparently believes, I don't know if he believes it, but he probably might have the idea now, thanks to Eric, that somebody must have trained the animals to kill the Macaean envoys. Now, who are the people who, now if that is the case, that the animals were trained by somebody to kill the Macaean envoys, who could it be? Could have been people who had issues with, I forgot the name of the country again. What's the name of the country again? McCann. Yeah. So apparently somebody, if a cat goes off what Eric told him, and that somebody has been controlling these animals, then maybe somebody controlled these animals to kill the Macaean envoy, and that this person must have a huge grimace towards Macad. For I know it could have been former Macadian slaves who controlled the animals and used them to kill this Macadian team. these became diplomats. Now these became diplomats. There may also be people in that group who were there to find missing slaves, because you got people who flee McCad in search of freedom in Phosphate. So, for I know, there might have been some people in that diplomat group who were hired to recover slaves that fled McCad. So, it could have been somebody who trained the animals to kill the McCad envoys. It could have been slaves. It could have been freed slaves who wanted to get back at McCad and the people who enslaved them. So that makes me think, well, I don't know. But apparently, I don't think it's Mayborn, because he was very pissed that the envoys got killed. So I don't think it would have been Mayborn somehow. But anyway, it might have been people who were once slaves of McCad, or if not, at least people who were very sympathetic with the slaves, and they decided to train their animals to kill the McCad envoys. So certainly McCad must have been very desperate to figure out what happened, that he would go to Eric's room and ask Eric about what happened, because he kind of thinks kind of lowly of Eric. So, but apparently he doesn't think of Eric that lowly. I guess that he would ask him, that he would seek advice from Eric. So, I assume next month we will be covering chapter 2 for Vakad, unless we really are going to get more of Vakad, get more of Tenoch in chapter 2 next month. That might have been a mistake that they made at the end, but I'm pretty sure Vakad will get his chapter 2 next month. So that's all I have to say for NeveN. All the information for the games in the description box below, including the Patreon, where you can watch updates 2 weeks before they become public. You also help in supporting the game. We also have a Twitter where you can go to stay updated on the game. So, thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.